So this is a bit of a funny one. We started a new book before last week, and we just started this one. So we started Gangster Granny. We just finished Charlotte's Web, and I was devastated. Got very upset. Had to take a minute. But then we went on this one, which we found is a bit happier. So I thought it would be a real shame if we didn't get to finish it. So I'm going to be reading the next chapter, then hopefully we can get through it. Because it would be a real shame if we don't get to finish our book. So we got to chapter 11, Cheesy Beans and Sausage. Ben sped home on his bike, not even noticing his burning legs and aching chest. He was going so fast he thought the police might give him a speeding ticket. As the wheels raced around, so did his mind. Could his boring old granny really be a gangster? A gangster granny? That must be why she liked books about gangsters so much, because she was one. He slid through the back door, just as the familiar Strictly Stars Dancing theme tune blasted out from the living room. He'd made it home just in time. But as Ben was about to disappear upstairs and pretend he'd been in his bedroom up doing his homework, Mum burst into the kitchen. "What are you doing?" she asked suspiciously. "You look very sweaty." "Oh, nothing," said Ben, feeling very sweaty. "Look at you," she continued as she approached him. "You are sweating." "I'm not sweating," Ben protested. Being accused of sweating was actually making him sweat even more. "You are sweating. Have you been out running?" "No," replied a now very sweaty Ben. "Ben, don't lie to me. I am your mother," she said, pointing at herself, a false nail flying off into the air in the process. Her false nails come off a lot. Once, Ben had even found one in his microwavable paella bolognese. "If you haven't been out running, Ben, then why are you sweating?" Ben had to think fast. The Strictly Stars Dancing theme tune was coming to an end. "I was dancing," he blurted out. "Dancing?" Mum didn't look convinced. Ben was no Flavio Flavioli, and of course he hated ballroom dancing. "Yes, well, I've changed my mind about ballroom dancing. I love it." "You said you hated it," shot back an increasingly suspicious Mum. Many times. Only the other week you said that you would rather eat your own bogies than watch that rubbish. And hearing you say that was like a dagger through my heart. Mum was becoming visibly upset at the memory. "I'm sorry, Mum, I really am." Ben reached out a hand to comfort her, and another false nail fell to the floor. "But now I love it. Honestly, I was just watching Strictly through the crack in the door and copying all the moves." Mum beamed with pride. She looked as if her whole life had suddenly got meaning again. Her face turned strangely happy, yet sad, as if this was destiny itself. "Do you want to be?" She took a deep breath. "A professional dancer?" "Where's my cheesy beans and sausage, wife?" called Dad from the living room. "Oh, shut your face, Pete!" Mum's eyes were wet with tears of joy. She hadn't cried so much since Flavio was kicked out of the show in week 2 last year. Flavio had been forced to partner Dame Rachel Prejudice, who was so podgy all he could do was drag her around the floor. "Well, Ben desperately searched for a way to get out of this one. "Yeah." That wasn't it. "I knew it!" cried Mum. Pete, come in here for a moment. Ben's got something he needs to tell you." Dad trudged in wearily. "What is it, Ben? You're not joining the circus, are you? My word, you are very sweaty." "No, Pete," said Mum, slowly and deliberately, as if she was about to read out the name of a winner at an awards ceremony. "Ben doesn't want to be a silly old plumber anymore." "Oh, well, thank goodness for that," said Dad. "He wants to be." Mum looked at her son. "Tell him, Ben." Ben opened his mouth, but before he could say anything, Mum chimed in. "Ben wants to be a ballroom dancer!" Dad looked up at the nicotine-stained ceiling as if he might catch a glimpse of the Divine One himself. He was just practising in the kitchen. jabbered Mum excitedly. Copying all the moves from the show? Dad looked into his son's eyes and shook his hand manfully. That is wonderful news, my boy. Your mum and me haven't achieved much in our lives, what with Mum being a nail polisher. I am a nail technician, Pete, corrected Mum scornfully. There is a world of difference, Pete. You do know that. Nail technician, sorry, and me just being a boring old security guard because I was far too fat for the police. The most excitement I've had this year was when I stopped a man in a wheelchair speeding out of the store with a tin of custard concealed under his blanket. But you, becoming a ballroom dancer, well, this is just the greatest thing that's ever happened to us. The very greatest, said Mum. The very, very greatest, agreed Dad. Really, it is the very, very, very greatest, said Mum. Let's just agree. It's extremely great, said Dad, irritated now. Only, I warn you, boy, it's not going to be easy. If you train 8 hours a day, every day, for the next 20 years, you might just get on the TV show. Maybe you can do the American version, exclaimed Mum. Oh, Pete, just imagine our boy, a huge star in America. Well, let's not jump the gun, wife. He's not won the British one yet. Right now, we have to think about entering him for a junior competition. Oh, you're right, Pete. And Gail told me there's one in the town hall just before Christmas. Crack open the sparkles, wife. Our son is going to be a champion. A naughty word exploded in Ben's head. How on earth was he going to get out of this? And that takes up to the next chapter. I'm going to take my bookmark. Still got it, Amira? Take my bookmark. I'm going to put it in.